Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia. I'm a first year at Northeastern University, and today I'm talking about my NUin experience, what is NUin Boston, and everything that goes along with it. So let's get straight into it. So my camera might die, but I have a list of everything I need to talk about. Hi friends, I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer to this video. I'm going to be talking a lot about the positives and the upsides to NUin and Northeastern. Obviously, first year is really difficult, like you will still get homesick and have hard moments, so I want to make sure that before this video begins, you understand that not everyone's experience is going to be 100% perfect their first semester. There are challenges, and so as I'm talking about all these great things that happened, I also want you to know that it is okay if your NUin experience or your first semester doesn't look like this. Everyone's experience is different. I certainly really enjoyed mine and had a fabulous semester, so that's just what I'm going to be putting out here. But I want you to know that yes, I still did get homesick and I still had my challenges, but it was a really great semester and I just wanted to recap that. So without further ado, enjoy. So first of all, what is NUin? So NUin is a first semester global experience. It's a way for freshmen to be able to go abroad their first semester. It comes with your decision into the school, so it'll tell you that you are NUin. Then shortly thereafter, locations are released, and so this year it was England, Italy, Greece, Ireland, and Boston. So I ended up in the Boston program. I was originally on the wait list for the London one, and then I just ended up being in Boston. The Boston choice is unique because of COVID, and it is supposed to not be offered this upcoming year, so I'm going to be talking mostly about like NUin and trying to get my best review on it in the case that it does happen this year. This way people can know like what to expect. So there were two hotels this year that we were put in for NUin. One was the Westin Hotel and the other was a Sheraton. I was put in the Sheraton Hotel, which I love, like mwah. And then there was most people put in the Westin because you were able to opt for a full year in the hotel if you wanted to. NUin on our side of things wasn't so much of the global experience, but they still made it as much of an experience as they could. So we did a bunch of free events, tickets to different games and different shows, and it was really overall a really cool experience because when in your first semester you're going to be given all this free stuff, and college kids love free stuff. So the next thing is move-in and orientation. So because we were staying in a hotel, obviously this changed things up a lot. It was nice being only like a 15-minute walk from campus or 2 stops on what we call the T in Boston. And so we kind of had a normal-ish move-in and orientation. So move-in day, they have like all of the big box hampers there. You just move your stuff into your room. It happened per usual. You can check out my video on the move-in experience here, and we all got to meet our roommates, and that's how I met most of my friends, is on my floor. Orientation was unique because we were NUin students. We didn't participate in a lot of the same orientation activities as on-campus students, so we had some of our own orientation events where we met our floor mates and everything that goes along with being a first year. We got situated with our meal plans, so we had 12 meals a week in the dining halls, and so we were experiencing college just like anybody else moving in on campus. Okay, so my camera died, so we're just going to continue on here. So next up is classes and on-campus activity. So any NUin student was welcome to join regular activities and programming on campus. This included for me dance, newspaper, and any of the thing, and also applying to be a tour guide. All of that could still happen even though I was an NUin student. I have a video here of my dance tech week if you want to check that out. Generally, we had the same freedom as any other student on campus. The only thing was our classes. So our classes were strictly NUin classes. There's also like a less obviously of an option of classes because they were only offered by certain professors and they had to get the classes to fit in with all of the classroom schedules on campus as well. But I was able to find everything I needed for my class requirements for my major. So typically people in NUin will take intro courses for whatever their major is. So a lot of my pre-med friends took biology, chem. As a journalism and poli-sci student, I actually got credit for a lot of classes. So I ended up taking one journalism class and then a media class, and then I got to choose my other 2 classes, which were both culture classes. That leads me to my next point, which is what are culture classes? So basically, when you're in NUin, no matter the location, you take a culture class. So this has to do with whatever location you are doing your global experience. So for example, if you were in London, you could take a History of London course. So in Boston, we had courses such as Writing Boston, Boston Theater, which is what I was in. They had global pandemics to relate back to the COVID pandemic, kind of what pandemics have looked like in Boston over the years. And then the other one that they had that I took was Current Issues in Cities and Suburbs. I took 2 culture courses because I got credit for like first year writing and I didn't really have other options. So someone's typical like NUin classes would look like first year writing, which everyone takes unless you get credit, your culture course, and then 2 like intro courses for your major. So whether that's biology or journalism, whatever you see fit. So next up, I have dorm and hotel life. The basic setup of the hotel was there's 2 towers in the Sheraton. NUin had all of the South Tower of the Sheraton Hotel. So this meant that they were also guest staying in the North Tower, but we didn't really come in contact with them. On occasion, if you were in the lobby, you could hear like guests asking like, what are all these college kids like doing in our hotel? But otherwise, it wasn't much of we weren't a disturbance, and we tried to stay in our own territory. The way it worked is there was a security guard and you would have to scan your ID to be able to get into our tower. And then you had a key that accessed the elevator, and then that obviously accessed your room as well. A lot of the rooms were either one queen and a queen bed, or a queen and a king bed, or just a king bed, which meant it was just a single room. So there were quite a few singles throughout the hotel. I knew a couple people in those rooms, but a lot of the people I knew had doubles. They were really easy to live in. They had 2 desks, they had 2 beds, they had our own bathroom. We also got a couple other furnished pieces like bedside tables, a chair, and then you were able to decorate it the way you would a normal dorm room. So I hung up pictures and I put cute little things on my desk from home. We also bought a cart for our room and a shoe rack for the closet. We got an ironing board from the hotel. So there were a few things that came with it that were really convenient. We also obviously given like toilet paper whenever you needed it and things like that, and then you were responsible for everything else. I have a video here of what the kind of room setup looked like, my room tour, so be sure to check that out. Hotel itself had 5th floor study rooms, so those were quiet rooms and you could go into those just as you would in any other dorm. Then downstairs there was a room called the Belvedere room, and that was also a study space, but it was not mandatory to be quiet. So you could really go in there and make as much noise as you wanted, even if you were studying, which don't do that. You will be the annoying one. There were also microwaves down there. Everyone had fridges in their rooms, so you could go down and microwave anything. There was like a ton of them. They didn't really heat up our food very well. Like it took like 5 minutes if it should have taken 2, but it is what it is. We also had access to the lobby and the market in the lobby. So if you wanted to, you could go use like your dining dollars actually at the market in the lobby, which was really nice because they actually had good food. I only did it a couple times because it was like pretty expensive, but then there was a couple tables in the lobby that we used on occasion. All the Sheraton is pretty like a communal environment. Like there's always people in the lobby, there's always people in the Belvedere room right when you're coming down off the elevators, so you're always seeing people that you know. I met a ton of new people just by hanging out in the lobby, and friends would introduce each other. So we have a lot of people coming and going in common spaces, and so you're able to just meet a lot more people. Next up is social life. So basically the social scene at Northeastern in general is obviously just like any other college, and NUin itself is unique because there's a lot of students living in a hotel, obviously. My primary friend group like came from my floor, which is really unique. I think we like bonded really quick, and I love them all. And other ways to make friends were like family dinners that they put on, going to different events. And obviously like everyone in your classes is also staying in the hotels, so it was really nice to like see people from all of my classes just around. It's kind of unique because imagine taking classes and then everyone in those classes is living in your dorm. Like, it's pretty special. I would say it created what they call an NUin bubble, and this happens at any NUin location, is that when you start like living in that space your first semester, that kind of sets you up to have that group through all your time. And I was talking to a 4th year who had done NUin in her freshman year, and she said, yeah, it's very real, like all my friends are still NUin people. Definitely a unique situation, but I love all my people from NUin, and I totally want to spend the next 4 years with them. I didn't see any downsides to it. I still made friends from all my extracurriculars, such as being on the dance companies. I have a few friends from there, but overall a lot of my friends came from NUin. The next is all of the lessons or my tips for NUin. One would be, don't pack a lot of stuff. You are going to buy so much stuff, and this goes for international locations or just being in college in general. I bought so many things in Boston, and it was just not necessary to bring all these clothes that I didn't end up wearing. Like, there were so many things that sat in the bottom of my drawers for so long. Anyone in college is gonna tell you this, and I was like, I don't believe them. Like, I'm gonna wear all these clothes. No. I'm going to pack for my 2nd semester right now, and I'm not taking half the stuff that I took last semester. Especially if you're going to an international location, you're bound to get a lot of souvenirs, all of the things that you've picked up along the way. So I would be very careful about how much you're bringing with you so that you have enough room to bring the stuff back. Second, I would totally recommend doing a random roommate. I know this might be controversial, but this goes for any college. When you're in NUin internationally, you're actually just given a random roommate anyway, and you kind of just meet, which is really unique, I think, and really works for the international experience, just to try new things and meet new people. It's better than just going in with like someone you know. I would say there's no harm in choosing someone off of like Instagram or any of the class of 2025 or now 2026 pages. Like, that's a great way to meet people. But I personally, we found out about 4 days before the deadline that we could like put down roommates, which normally doesn't happen at anyone, so we were all scrambling. And so I just went random, and I met one of my favorite humans ever, and you all know her because she's been in my videos, and that's Marisol. She was in this video. Go check her out. I love her. My friends Suhani and Amaya, they ended up choosing each other from an Instagram post and just messaging and calling and figuring out that they're a great rooming situation for them, and they are very close, and I love them as well. I've also seen people who like choose each other and it doesn't work out. And I've seen people with random roommates and it doesn't work out either. But what I will say is there's no harm in going random, because if you don't like the person, it was 1 semester. I am so fortunate to have the best roommate ever, and it was all because I just went random. And if I had chosen someone off of Instagram, or I chose someone I knew and it didn't work out, I would have really regretted it, because then you're just ruining like a friendship with someone that like might have worked out otherwise. So these are just some of my pointers for rooming. Third tip is bedding. So they give you a set of linens and 2 pillows and a blanket if you want to just go with that. But I obviously recommend a comforter duvet, because it just is gonna make you a lot warmer when the hotel room gets really cold. And in case that your roommate does likes the room colder, that's also a great way to solve that. I would wait until you see the room to buy all of your furniture and anything you need. So what I did when I moved in is I brought my 2 suitcases up, I unpacked everything, and then we looked around and we saw like, what do I want to buy? So I knew I wanted a cart, I knew we needed a shoe rack, I knew I wanted my comforter, and and I also knew I needed 2 like cute buckets to hold my sweatshirts, because my dresser was really small. So that was my number 1 recommendation, and this is going anywhere, is to buy your stuff after you move in. Obviously for someone like Marisol, she was driving up, so she was able to bring her comforter and like all the pillows she wanted and all the cute things with her. And because I was flying, like that was just we just took different paths with that, but we ended up getting the same like furniture and things for ourselves. My final tip has to do with social life. So when you move in, meet as many people as you can. There are going to be so many people, and you probably won't remember them all, but get Snapchats and write after their Snapchat name, like write how you met them. So I would be like, and I think it's still this way, I would be like, Amaya, Sheraton. Then when her name popped up for the first time, like I knew where she came from, and obviously like I could probably take that off by now. Sorry, Amaya. And then I did that for other people too. I'd be like, oh, this person's from this dance piece, or this person I met randomly in the lobby on this day. Like, that way you're just remembering people. And don't be shy to like reach out. I feel like the way I kind of started doing it was like tagging along with other people, but also like you need to make your own friends. So when I went to dance events, like immediately introducing myself to the people there, and they would want to introduce themselves to me obviously too. So like it was a great kind of bonding experience to just, that's how I met my friend Zoe from dance, was just like, oh hi, like we were standing next to each other waiting for the dance class to start, and we got into conversation and I learned about her dance experience, and then we ended up in a dance together and had like the best dance semester ever. So just reach out, like really make the most of it, whether you're international or in Boston. NUin is really unique. It creates a special atmosphere for your first semester. You will meet like people you absolutely love. I know it's like definitely scary, like moving away from your parents for the first time and at 18 to do a global experience. I can't speak to that, but that would definitely be terrifying. But the more and more that you reach out to other people, the more you'll have comfort there when the homesickness sets in, because that is really important to have the people around you who will give you a hug on your worst days. Just a couple lessons. Obviously I only have my one semester under my belt, but NUin is over for me, so I can reflect more on it now. As far as the future goes, my second semester I will be staying in the Sheraton Hotel. This was a personal choice between me and my roommate and a few other people on our floor, but basically when you come back from NUin, you'll be placed into typically an apartment or another dorm that has an empty spot. Sometimes if there's 2 empty spots, you can be placed with the person you request, but it's really hard for them obviously. But people are always moving out and in because of co-ops and study abroad, so you don't know exactly where you're gonna be placed. So one thing we found out was that Northeastern had signed another contract with the Sheraton Hotel, and our floor was included in that contract, so we simply emailed them and said, hey, is there any way we could keep our room in the Sheraton? And they responded and said, yeah, just tell us yes within 24 hours. So I will be staying in the Sheraton, and all my friends will be staying there too, so it's gonna be another great semester. I'm really excited about it. Alright, so that is all for this video. I know there was a lot, and I know this was only just my experience, so be sure to check out other people's videos if you happen to see any other NUin experiences pop up on your recommended. Stay safe, everyone, stay very healthy. I hope you all had. Remember to subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions about NUin or about Northeastern, and I will see you in the next one. New videos every Monday. Love you. Bye.